access, and it's very confusing. If I want to print something in 3D right now, I have to either own a 3D printer, find a friend that has one, or try to get into a closed-off part of Berkeley. Combine that with the fact that the printers that do exist sit idle for 95% of their lives. So we want to bridge this gap and create a solution to these problems. And our solution is Protofy, a peer-to-peer 3D printing network. We connect people who want to print things in 3D with the people that own them. What is our value proposition? To the makers, we provide a local, on-demand 3D printing service, many locations with market-driven prices. On the printer side, we offer free 3D printers and an additional revenue stream. We're going to take you through a quick demo. Now, if you see here, this is our home page. Let's take a case, for example. I lost my house key. I have lost my house keys. I've had to get new ones made. But instead, take this, for example. I lose my house key, and I have a 3D rendering that I save. I go to Protofy. And I can upload my 3D file to the site, and I can automatically view 17 printers in my area. These are printers owned by actual people, ready and willing to print my digital 3D key. I can see my rendering of my key. I can sort by material, plastic, ceramic, coming up with metal eventually, sort by price, maximum rating by the users, turnaround time, and distance to me. Let's take a look at print tests. Click on printers, you can see their profile, you can see an image of the 3D printer, you can view previous jobs that they've done, user reviews. Now I'm ready to print. I can direct message, or I can click print and straight to checkout. Take your contact info, review your order, confirm your printer and all the details, submit payment information, and that is the checkout process. But how do we make money? Well, because we're a community and we provide a network, these printers, these entrepreneurs can charge their own prices per volume, and we do cubic centimeters. We take a 15% transaction fee on the printer side, or you can opt into a $20 per month membership. But do people really want this, right? That's the question we always ask. Customer market validation. And so we got dirty and we got in the community and we went to see if people would use this. And from finding on online forums, from going to meetups, from talking to people, there's a need for this. Just from a simple search in community forums. Is there a 3D printing sharing service? I just bought a printer. I want to rent it out to someone because I'm not using it. I want access to one, but I don't know where to go. 3D printer rentals. It goes on and on. Quick snapshot of the industry. Last year in 2012, there were 35,000 desktop 3D printers sold, not even including the industrial ones. Put that on a projection curve, and we have over 100,000 printers in 2015, just the desktop. One more fact to add to this is McKinsey released a study that said projects the 3D printer market at upwards of $230 billion by 2025. Now, if we can just get 1% of that market. No, I'm just kidding. Trends. Prices are going down. Materials are becoming widespread. Mainstream adoption and consumer use. We are jumping on this trend, and we are early, 2 years out. This is going to be a huge, huge trend. Competition. We have 3D hubs. They are a peer-to-peer printing network, as well as Make XYZ. Dreambox, a Berkeley startup, is a vending 3D printing machine. But how are we different? How are we going to set ourselves apart? And what is our secret sauce? That is the question, and we think we've come up with a revolutionary concept in this space that we're calling the 3D project. What we're doing is we are allowing people to get free 3D printers. How are we doing this? It sounds crazy, right? Well, we're allowing people to, for a security deposit of $500, send them a 3D printer. Now, there's an application process. We will have a wait list so we can regulate who we allow and what locations people can have 3D printers. They sign a contract, and this provides amazing value to us. One, we have quality control. We know what printers are out there, and we can monitor the status with remote software, something that 3D Hubs doesn't have. You can upload your own made-at-home printer.
Do we have any questions from the judges on the end? It's kind of hard to see you guys over there.
going with your 3D plan, how are you going to acquire the printers to then send out to people?
Of course, this is a great question. So a huge partnership we'll need is a partnership with a printer manufacturer. There's MakerBot, there's 3D Systems, there's Type A machines, and when we can issue them a wide variety of large-scale demand, we're going to create a partnership, get it at a lower cost, and either upfront the cost ourselves or hopefully get them in on it. And again, we are taking a deposit, so in that sense we are profitable. We're not in the red right from day one.
In your view, is this a transitory opportunity in that 3D printers are relatively scarce and expensive now, but we can only assume that in the next 10 years they're going to change radically and become more ubiquitous, which might threaten the need for this model? What do you think?
I agree with that in many ways, but we're sort of also looking into opportunities in which, even though there's going to be widespread availability, in some places there won't be. Like, if you go even in the Bay, there are some schools that are still using antiquated computer software now. Like, there's a real need in some communities for access to better technology, better education, and part of what we're trying to think of with our 3D project is that we want to, it's almost like you're doing an application because we want to get the most passionate people, the people that are going to involve their community the most. These are going to be sort of our brand ambassadors, as well as sort of including other communities.
Take desktop printers, for example. Yeah, they're very cheap. You can probably get them for $100, but there's always going to be people that need, that can't afford it, and there are going to be people that want a higher level. You know, basic 3D printers are printing plastic little objects. What if you want to print a t-shirt? What if you want to print a custom pair of Ray-Bans or a pair of Nike shoes and you're not paying huge markups? That's what's coming.
So if I'm the owner of a 3D printer, how much money can I make, and what are the logistics that I have to be for?
Totally. Fair questions. Right now, 3D Hubs is averaging a average order size of €30, so about $45. It really is on the printer. What we're finding is unique is because we regulate how many printers are in the market, we can regulate the supply and demand. So we're going to, for example, Uber can regulate the amount of drivers, and that way we have, for example, 20-to-1 ratio where there's always more demand than suppliers, and making sure our printers are always profitable.
I have one more question.
So the demand is going to come from consumers who, when they get, thought about like the rendering or the design, or, you know, we skipped over the fact that you've rendered the key. I think it's a great idea, but
Right.
I mean, how many of us are going to have this?
Perfect.
That's a really good example. There's a lot of software coming out that makes things really simple. The example we use is actually particularly useful because someone has made software that you can take a picture of your key, and because the grooves are pretty standard across a lot of different key sets, you can create a model like pretty painlessly in STL, which is the file format, and send it off.